Slide 99, Lesson 6, the Qal Perfect Past Tense, completed action. In the previous lesson, Lesson 5 on pronominal suffixes, we learnt that in Hebrew we can add some letters to the end of a noun. Remember, a noun is a name or a thing. These letters at the end are called a suffix. For example, the word gamal, camel, becomes gamali, gamali, my camel, just by adding the yod at the end. Notice the changes to the vowels here, just simply because we're adding another letter. We run the name a little bit differently over the tongue. So gamal becomes gamali, my camel. Or if we add the hem here, we have gamal hem, their camel, gamal hem, their camel. So these things in blue, they are called suffixes, or pronominal suffixes in particular. They tell us whose camel it is, who it belongs to. Now here's a further example. Gamal becomes gamalecha, gamalecha, your camels. That's plural, your camels. Or gamalnu, our camel, gamalnu, our camel, just by adding the nun and the vav, gamalnu. Or gamalehim, gamalehim, their camels, their camels. So this is just a bit of revision, if you like, of pronominal suffixes covered in Lesson 5. Well, in a similar way, these letters that are added to the end tell us who something or someone belongs to. Well, a similar thing is done with verbs, doing words. These are nouns here in these examples above. They're nouns, they're things or people. Things or people or animals. But we also have suffixes that we add to the end of verbs or doing words. We add a suffix to the verb, but instead of who something belongs to, we are interested in who has done something, because a verb is a doing word. For example, if I want to say he guarded, I would write shamar, shamar, he guarded. All three verb roots are past tense. All three letter verb roots are past tense. So by default, if you have a verb root listed in a dictionary, the basic verb root is a past tense, and it's he did something or other, he something or other in the past tense. That's how they're listed. So this verb means to guard, or he guarded. If I want to say she guarded, then I add a hey to shamar, becoming shamra, she guarded. Shamra, she guarded. Similarly, if I want to say you guarded, then I add a tav to shamar, becoming shamata, you guarded, shamata. Or, if I want to say I guarded, then I add a tav yod to shama, becoming shamati, I guarded, shamati, I guarded. So we have shamra, shamata, and shamati. She guarded, you guarded, I guarded. So we're doing a very similar thing to what we did with pronominal suffixes, but these are suffixes added to a verb, and some of them are similar and some of them are quite different. These suffixes can be written in a table as follows. Slide 100, Lesson 6, Qal Perfect Past Tense Completed Action. Here is a table of all the suffixes that we add to the verb. In this example, for the verb, he guarded. These are singular verbs, and we'll have a look at the plurals in just a moment. And they're past tense. This is the Qal Perfect Past Tense version of the word he guarded for all the different genders and numbers here. So, Shama is he guarded. And if I want to say she guarded, I say Shamra. I put this little hey at the end and change Shama to Shamra. If I want to say you guarded to a man, it's Shamata. I put this tav here. And if I want to say you guarded to a woman, I say Shamat. You guarded. I put a tav here, but it doesn't have the kamats. And if I want to say I guarded, I say Shamati. Shamati. I add this tav and yod. So this is how in Hebrew, when we use a doing word, a verb, and we're doing something, we have to say who's doing it. He guarded, she guarded, you guarded. In English, we'd just have a separate word for you or he or she. And that's true in Hebrew. They have separate words. We saw those, the object marker preposition in the previous lesson. But they also, in Hebrew, have these suffixes that are added to the end of the verb to mean a past tense action for the different masculine and feminine versions of that. So let's look at the plurals. So this is a singular, and when we're speaking to more than one person or of more than one person, we use these forms. So Shema becomes Shamru. They guarded. Shamru. They guarded. And if I want to say you guarded to men, I say Shamatim. So this is to a group of men, whereas that's just to one man, Shamata. But if I want to say to a group of men, you guarded, I say Shamatim. And if I want to say you guarded to a group of women, I say Shamatin. Shamatin, you guarded. And if I want to say we guarded, I say Shamanu. We guarded. Shamanu. So every time you use a verb in Hebrew, it'll have these suffixes on the end of them. If you're not speaking of a man, a singular, a third person masculine singular, he, you'll have these letters added to the end if it's not that. So you'll have she guarded, you guarded, and so forth. So let's just read these out. Shamar, Shamra, Shamata, Shamart, Shamati, Shamru, shamatim, shamatin, shamanu. So that's shama, he guarded, shamra, she guarded, shamata, you guarded, shamat, you guarded, to a woman, shamati, I guarded, and in the plurals, shamru, they guarded, shamatim, you guarded, to a group of men, shamatin, you guarded, to a group of women, and shamanu, we guarded. So this table is one that you should have printed out. There's another slide coming up which will be ideal for printing out. So this is a little bit different to English, but you're going to come across this on every sentence, more or less. There's almost a verb in every sentence usually, and you'll come across this all the time. The suffixes shown here are from what is called the Qal Perfect, the strong verb, and that's the. Well, I won't get into that just yet, but that is. We'll try to keep to Qal examples as much as possible. And if you want to know what we're talking about here, that's really in lesson 8. In any case, let's continue. The Qal Perfect verb forms usually denote a past tense verb, which can also be described as a completed action. Okay, so this is past tense. Guarded, it's something you did in the past. He guarded, she guarded, you guarded. It's past tense. It's something that's been completed, it's happened already, so it's a completed action. But it can mean present tense sometimes, depending on context. So there are exceptions. But generally, when it has this form, it's speaking in the past tense. As well, it can be changed to a future tense word by adding an and to the beginning. That's adding the letter vav at the front. This is very, very strange. Very, very strange. And I'm going to spend some time in the second part of this lesson, lesson 6, talking about why this is from perhaps a philosophical point of view. It's a very strange thing in Hebrew, but God is outside of time, and this is reflected in the language. Okay, so this table here is usually represents things in the past tense, but if we add the vav at the front, meaning and, if we say and he guarded, that changes the tense into the future. It's very peculiar. Again, don't get confused by that just yet. We'll look at that in the second half of the lesson. But for now, just begin to come to terms with the fact that when there is a verb in Hebrew, it'll have these suffixes on the end if they are past tense verbs or completed actions. So let's look at some examples.